And I'm going to finish. So today I'm going to have a look at repotting this beautiful Yamadori Privet. Please remember to like and subscribe so you're supporting me on my bonsai journey. Weather's a little bit different today. It's been raining overnight. It's sunny now, and it's only 9 o'clock in the morning. It's sunny now, but it's going to rain later this afternoon, and then I think it's going to rain for quite a few days. So I'm going to try and do a quick video of the repot. So I'm going to take this privet out of its pot, and then I'm just going to replace the soil and put it back in the same pot. It's a nice pot. So I'm going to have to be careful how I lift it. It's going to be very, very heavy. And the soil I'm going to use, I've researched, and it says that it needs to be well drawn, it needs to be well drained, and to use akadama, which it likes as well. So I'm going to use some of that. I've got some kitty litter, the pink stuff, which is clay, which is really good, and I'm going to use horticultural grit as well, because it needs to be well drained. So I'm going to put that together, and then we'll see how we get on. So when we look at this tree, I acquired this from Sam, who's from my bonsai club, and him and his dad are particularly excellent at carving trees. You see all of the grain meticulously carved into that shari and that gin. Absolutely beautiful. So we've got this kitty friend, absorbent cat litter. Apparently it doesn't clump, which is good. It's really good for drainage, and we'll hold on to some of the moisture there. We've got some grit and then some akadama. So let's get this bad boy out of the pot. So first thing that I will be doing is having a look at if it's been widened, and that's a silly question, of course it's been widened, but I'm going to cut the wires which are at the bottom here. So I'll just go and get some snips. Careful of that back bit. Don't knock any branches. So I'm just clipping off the wire. Right, let's see if I can. I'm really nervous. There we go. Put it into this potting tray, just so we don't get mess everywhere. So in the last video, part 1, I was adding wood hardener to all of the shari and the gin, because deciduous trees, normally in nature, all the deadwood tends to just fall off. Alright, it's not as strong as the coniferous or the evergreen trees. So you need to use the wood hardener to stop that from happening. it's really good for the tree. I mean, to repot this for a privet probably every 2 to 3 years. And it encourages new growth. And it is actually very healthy for the tree. So we're going to remove all or most of the soil. And again, I've got to be very, very careful. I'm not actually touching any of these branches because they will just snap off. So I'm going to cut some of the roots off, and I'll be looking for any thick roots. And to be honest, can't feel anything. They actually feel quite fibrous anyway. This is a nice healthy tree. We've got some nice bit of foliage coming up, if you can see. We've got some foliage starting as well. There, my hands are filthy. Well, this is obviously going to take some time to do this repot. It's worth it. It's a beautiful tree, and like I said in the last video, this is at least 80-year-old tree. So it needs to be treated with a bit of respect there. Apparently it was part of a housing estate that had been knocked down, and they salvaged quite a few of these shrubs. So the housing estate being there at least 75 years. So this one, the gauging must be at least 80 because it's been a few years since it's been salvaged as well. So, beautiful tree. So, just going to cut some of these branches. Now we've got a couple of little thicker ones there, and see. Cut those away. Here's the wire. So underneath, you need to make sure you've removed the wires. It's quite a thick piece of wire there, so I'll have to remember when I'm replacing it to put something in as thick, hopefully. Find one. Now I have removed about a third there. I mean, you might be able to remove more, I'm not sure, but I haven't got enough experience to know whether to take any more. There's an awful lot of roots there, but sort of daren't do it. So I'm going to clean all this up and then start to do the repot. As you can see, it's already got the mesh on there, so I'm going to put mesh through here. That will stop any of the soil coming through. So just going to make a bunny ears type thing. I'm going to push it through the mesh. So now I'm going to put wire through the holes at the bottom here, which will secure the privet to the pot, and it's a very, very big tree, so I'm going to get some thicker wire here. So this looks about, I don't know, 4 mils, quite thick, but I want to be making sure that it's okay. So bend it, make a U, and then I'm going to push it through the bottom. So I'll do it with the next one. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix some of the grit, the akadama, and the kitty friend together. Okay, so in this pot, and then I shall put some at the base. I will then tie the privet to the pot, and then I will use chopstick to actually get all of this in between all the roots. Soil to the base first. So all those roots can go into this new soil. Use the pliers to twist and secure that into the base. Right, so I'll make sure that's nice and tight. Now I'm going to put the rest of the soil around the roots. What we're looking for is going to use, so it's not quite chopstick, this is a dowel. I'm going to use this to actually push it in between all of those very, very fine roots. It's a bit thick, that one. I might actually cut that bit off. So this obviously takes time, but it's really, really important that we get the soil around all of those roots there. Then I will give it a lovely water. Not too much, because I know it's due to rain later on. And then that'll be it. Put it into its nice place. It doesn't sit here normally. This gets the full sun more or less, so I'm going to move it into partial shade to make it blue. And then I'm going to finish off with the top layer of akadama. And the reason why I like that is akadama changes colour. It goes a darker brown when it's wet, so it sort of indicates how wet the actual plant is. With this being a nice old tree, I want to spend a bit of money, a bit of time and effort onto this one. So we've got that potted up, and what I'm going to use now is some camellia oil, which brings out the beauty of the pot as well. So I'm going to do that. But it's a beautiful tree. So this oil cleans and brings out the colour of the long glazed pots. It's really, really nice. So it can go a little bit white over here. So this camellia oil is for cleaning the pots, makes them nice and glossy as well. You can see, now look at that, the water is just sitting on the pot. Sitting on the pot where I oiled it.